Hey there, this is Ike Hoffman with Tactica Real Estate Solutions, and today we're going to go over our multifamily rent comp template analysis. I've been looking up rent comps now for about 7 years, and for me, there's always been a little bit of a pain point. I've never had trouble really gathering the information. I'm confident calling properties, talking to the leasing agents, the property managers, and getting the pertinent rental information. I'm not afraid to shop comps either. I've gone to various properties, pretended to be a renter, toured the properties, got the information I needed. And now in the era of COVID, there's more information than ever online, whether you're using an aggregator like apartments.com or apartmentlist.com. You can get rental data, you can get concession data, how much free rent are they giving away, what utilities are included, how many units are at the property, when was the property built. That stuff's easy to find now. So I usually use a combination of a couple different methods. It's always a pain once I have all the information to organize the data. Making charts, comparing the data points, it can get very tedious. And as you're updating the data, you have to go back into these charts and update axes, color different points, different things, change data labels. It can really bog you down. I finally decided to release our rent comp tool to the masses. And the beauty of this is all the charts are automated via macros that run behind the scenes. All you need to focus on is getting the best information possible. The macros will take care of updating all the charts so you have all that information neatly organized where you can hopefully draw conclusions and figure out what rents would be for your subject property, whether it's an acquisition opportunity, a development, a total repositioning effort. It's all there and you get it in a very time-effective manner. The workbook itself is simple. It's 2 tabs. You have the inputs tab, and then you have the rent comp analytics tab, where everything is summarized. So this is the input tab we're looking at here. The first thing you need to do is enter in all the general property information. You can enter up to 8 comps, as few as 1 comp. So including the subject property plus all the comps, that would be 9 total properties. You're going to put in what year the property was built, how many units are at each property, and the occupancy. The occupancy is probably the hardest thing to find online unless you have database subscriptions. Calling the property is always your best bet to get this information, and just telling the property manager owner you're doing a rent comp survey. I also allow you to rank various criteria at the property, up to 6 criteria. So you can see here, for each property, we're ranking them on a 10-point scale, 10 being the best, 1 being the worst on location, kitchens, bathrooms, floor plans / living areas, community amenities, and common areas. You can do a rating system on a 10-point or a 5-point scale. In this example, I'm doing a 10-point scale. So for example, Riverviews is ranked a 10 for location. It's far and away in the best location, has the best walkability, is close to public transport, all those things. Meanwhile, Pathways is a 2 on location. It's in the middle of nowhere. It's maybe off the beaten path. Maybe there's a low traffic count and people won't see it, and it's just in an undesirable part of town. This section is optional. You don't need, if you're just looking for the hard rent data, you don't need to fill out anything here. Once we get to the rent comps analytics tab, I'll tell you how you can go about hiding some of this analysis that you're maybe not as interested in. But for me, this is crucial. I love to set although it's subjective, I love to set a criteria. I usually do it on a 5-point scale, 5 being the best, 1 being the worst. And I'm going through pictures, if it's a property in a different state, and I'm trying to figure out what property has the best finish levels, what property is in the best location, how many community amenities are there, is there opportunity or space for more community amenities in the future, are the common areas in good shape, will there be good first impressions when residents are walking through the hallways or walking on the grounds or parking in the parking lot, is the asphalt in good shape. So this is, for me, it really helps to go through property by property. And then on the next tab, there's some nice ranking systems that really show you how this comp set stacks up on these 6 different criteria. Notice these criteria are also brown text cells. Like in any Tactica tool, brown text cells are your responsibility. You can overwrite them. So for example, if you wanted to, instead of compare common areas, you wanted to say maybe access to public transport, you can overwrite any one of these and put in whatever criteria you want and give the appropriate ranking. And then off to the right, we get into the actual comps, the floor plans for a given floor plan. What's the square footage? What's the rent? Are they giving away concessions? And is the property billing back for utilities? So when you're filling out the properties, you'll notice there's drop-down lists. These lists are dependent on what you entered in over here. This is just to help prevent mistakes. You also need to enter in whether the property has been renovated, partially renovated, or is in its original state. There's also a blank option. So if you don't have 8 comps, that's fine. You don't need to fill out this entire section. You would just leave that blank or delete it altogether. And then obviously you'd be entering the square footage and the asking rent as well. If the property is offering concessions, you would enter that information in the red section here. Properties will often quote concessions either as a dollar amount, so like, oh, if you sign a lease within 24 hours, we'll give you $500 off, or in terms of months. So maybe you get 1 month free or 2 months free. In this example, the subject property gets a half month off. So what happens here then when we calculate the monthly net asking rent, it's taking the asking rent here in column P and it's adjusting it. So they were asking $800. If they're giving a half month free, the true effective rent is $767 a year. And then the final thing we need to enter in, if you have the information, is RUBS. You may need to estimate what they're billing back for water, sewer, trash. That's the most common RUBS reimbursement. If you're familiar with a certain submarket and you've owned properties in the area, you'll have a good idea of what this is. Like I know in certain neighborhoods, like $35, it's usually $30 to $40, depending on if it's a 1-bedroom or a 2-bedroom. But it also may be fruitful to call the property, maybe pretend to be a prospective renter and just say, hey, I see rent's $800. Are you billing back for utilities? It's a pretty common question, and right, if you're moving into a rental, you need to know what your total liability would be. So they should be willing to give you that information. And then the final adjustment here, then it'll take the asking rent, adjust it for concessions, and then tack on the RUBS, monthly RUBS charge if there is one. Once we get into the rent comp analytics, I'll show you why this information's a little more potent, but just know you'll get to choose how you want your rent data displayed. You are limited to 3 different floor plans. So in this example, I'm doing studios, 1 bedrooms, and then 2 bedroom, 1 baths. You can do less than that, but you can't do any more than 3 different unit types or floor plans. That's all this model will allow. One other thing I want to point out is off to the right, there's nothing you need to pay attention to, but this is just where I'm tracking various lists and sorting data and things of that nature. All this pink stuff, all this data with pink headers off to the right, you don't need to worry about it. This is information that's essentially keying the macros and is just making sure that behind the scenes, everything's automated and running smoothly. All right, now let's hop over to the Rent Comps Analytics tab. So this is where all the data is displayed. Let's quickly walk through each section. I'll show you how this data currently displays. So the first section is general property information. This is just a nice summary. It will show you each property, how many units, the year it was built, its occupancy, and then the average occupancy of the data set is also summarized as this line here. So you can see how the subject property compares to the comp set as a whole. Remember we had that ranking system? We did it on a 10-point scale. So all of that is summarized here. The subject property is coming in at last place at a 26. So over those 6 categories, it scored a 26, where Riverview is the best property, scored a 45. And then finally, these 2 graphs off to the right also touch on those 6 criteria we ranked earlier on. So first, you can see how the subject property compares to the average of the comp set. If the subject property is on the inside of this gray line here, you know that there's some upside. The common areas, all of the comps are nicer. The community amenities of the comps are far above where the subject property is at. Kitchens, it's pretty much in line with the comp set. And then on the far right here, you can actually grab any comp you want and compare the subject property to that comp. So let's select Highlands, for example. All right, you can see the subject property is beating Highlands on kitchens, but is either it's at the same level on bathrooms, floor plans, then a little behind on community amenities, common areas, and location. For me, before I print this or show potential partners or investors, I would probably select the best comp, which I believe was Viña, and really emphasize how much upside there is when comparing the subject property to the best comp in the comp set. The second section is just unit, square footage, and rents. If you're a person that just likes to see the raw data, it's all here. So you have square footage of each comp, the rent per square foot. And then you have min and max square foot summarized, min and max rents, average square foot of the comp set, and then the same for rents per square foot for each floor plan. Again, there's 3 floor plans here. The tool will allow you to compare or unit types. So we're doing studios, 1s, and 2-bedrooms. If we go down a little further, we have comp set square footage. So I always like to see how the floor plan or unit type of the subject property compares to the overall comp set. So if we look at the studio unit of the subject property, we can see it's a little smaller than the comp set average. And you can see then we also summarized the largest studio square footage in the comp set, which is 600 square feet, and then the smallest studio square footage in the comp set, which is 400 feet. We'll do that for studios, 1s, and 2s. So the 1-bedroom is a little bit larger than the average, while the 2-bedroom is much smaller than the comp set average. The next section are scatter plots. This is easily my favorite and I think most enlightening graphic because it takes into account both rents and square footage. You can see the subject property is the red dot, so it stands apart from the rest. A trend line will automatically populate for each different unit type. If the red dot is under the line, there's likely potential to raise rents. And then finally, we have some bar charts if you just want to see what the rents are and what the rents are per square foot are for each property. A cool feature of this tool, if you wanted to organize the rents by rent per square foot, all you need to do is scroll up to the top, select rent per square foot, click this format charts and graphs button. If you come back down, now the order is switched. So now you can see the properties are ranked by rent per square foot, and the subject property for the 2-bedroom, 1-baths, although it has the lowest rent on a chunk basis, on a rent per square foot basis, it's pretty much in the middle of the pack. So if you like to look at rents on a rent per square foot basis, you have flexibility to look at it either way. I want to scroll back up and touch on this button here. This is the button that runs all the macros and formats the charts. Anytime you're making any changes, just make sure you hit this button one time. Let me show you something quick. So let's go back to our data, and I'm just going to change this rent to $1,200. The studio rent to $1,200. So now when we come down to our charts, you can see since I changed the rent to $1,200, the subject property is now the highest rented studio in the comp set. The accesses, they don't go up to $1,200, it only goes up to $1,067, and Valley Stream is colored red when the subject property should be colored red. All we need to do is come back up, format the charts and graphs. Now we can come back down. The accesses will update. The max is now $1,158. There was a half a month concession, so it wasn't quite $1,200. You can see the subject property is also colored red now, so it stands apart from the rest. So any changes you're making, you just need to click that gray button at the top, and that will format your charts and graphs. The other selection you have up here is how you want your rents to display. You can display them as asking rent, monthly net asking rent, or monthly net rent plus estimated RUB. So what this means is asking rent is just what the property's advertising on their website are telling you the rent is. Your monthly net asking rent would be discounted for concessions, and then your net rent plus RUBs would include any concessions or RUBs payments. So when we filled out this initial information and we entered in concession data and RUBs data, this is to give you flexibility later on to display the rents in the most detailed manner. I'll always display rents inclusive of concessions and RUBs, but maybe for some reason you couldn't find good data on that. You just want to use asking rents. You can do asking rents here, you format charts and graphics, and now all of your data is showing just the asking rents. It will not include any concession data in the summary or any RUBs data. We can verify that. Well, $1,200 for the studio. There was a half month concession that discounted it down to $1,150, but that's not what's being displayed. These numbers for all of our comps are being displayed. If we come back, we do monthly net, we format charts and graphs. Now all of these rents will be displayed in the charts and graphs and summaries. The final example would be if we include RUBs, we do that, update charts and graphs. Now these are the rents that are being displayed. Off to the right, outside of the scope of the frame, there's a lot of information being summarized. You can ignore that. Again, that's just keying the macros and making sure this workbook runs smoothly. This workbook is ready to print. So if we click File, Print, it's a nice summary of the property. You could print this out, send it to partners, send it to investors. If there's data you don't want to include, you can see off to the left here, there's all these little boxes with a minus sign. So for example, if you didn't want to include all this ranking information and you just wanted the rental information, you can just click that little box and hide it. Or maybe you don't want the square footage information either. Just click that little minus sign and hide it. Now when you go to File, Print, it's ready to go and only includes the 3 sections instead of the 5. To add those sections back, you just need to click that little plus sign. It'll show up again. And now when you click File, Print, the full data set will be presented. That concludes the tutorial. I hope it's clear that the beauty of this tool is really once you have information, hopefully good information, whether you're calling the properties or touring the properties or scouring the web, once you have that information into this tool, the model does the rest for you. You're not going to be wasting your time creating all these different charts and formatting them and adding data labels and adjusting axes. It's ready to go. The macros, by clicking this Format Charts and Graphs button, will get everything aligned, present the data in an intuitive, thought-provoking manner, and hopefully help you make decisions on what your potential pro forma rents could be for your project. I appreciate you taking the time to watch the video. Happy to answer any questions you may have on this new tool. Thank you.